Welcome back, everybody. I've had 5 different emails, or 6, I can't remember, that was asking me on how to do a couple of things within the Fusion 360, and I know the tutorials online are pretty clear, but sometimes, you know, they go so fast they're really hard to follow. So what was asked of me was how to do the extruding and how to you know, create a shape from your own basically sketch, and then how to hollow out the inside of that sketch, and how to tell it to make a hole versus only make it a part way through it. So that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to just save this. I'm just going to save this as gosh, demo. I don't know what to call this, so we're just going to call this a demo. Okay, I always start by creating a new component, and I'm just going to call this my shape. Whoops. My shape. Not sure what's going on here. Well, this software made my keyboard quit working for a second again. And hang on a minute. There we go. Shape. So what I'm going to do is hit the now keep in mind that the S key is what pops up this model toolbox, okay? But you have to start a sketch first, okay? So on the shape, I'm going to turn on the origin, which gives me my 3 planes I can draw in, and then on this plane I'm just going to pick an arbitrary plane. I'm going to right click and hit create a sketch. The sketch is how you get to all the tools to draw lines and circles and everything. Now when I hit the S key now, you'll see sketch toolbox. Now all of these are preferences I put in myself. You can type in down here you know, a circle, point arc, which you can go over to here to the right, okay? Hit that, and now you see it added to be one of my favorites, okay? Center of mass could be one of my shortcuts. So anything that you can type in could be a shortcut. So I'm going to start with just the line tool here, okay? I'm going to just make a kind of a weird shape, let's say. Something that might give somebody a little bit of a headache drawing. So, and I don't know, let's just do this. Now you notice once I closed it, this turned a little bit darker color inside. Now I can highlight this, see how it turned dark blue there, and when I hit the Q actually stands for press pull, but it opens up the extrude, okay? So this is where I'm going to turn it into a true 3-dimensional shape, okay? And I'm going to make this 50 millimeters. Okay, now there's my first shape. Now I'm going to turn off the origin so the 3 axes disappear. So let's say I want to put a hole all the way through this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this face here, right click, and hit create another sketch. Okay, now it's ready to do a drawing, and right here I'm going to pick a circle, and let's say I'm going to make that 5 millimeters, hit enter. Okay, now I have 2 things here. I could click this, or I could click the inside circle. Okay, now if I hit the Q here, you notice that all this popped up over here. One of them says the extent, and I could do a distance, or I could click to the object, which means I can make this go to anywhere I want. So what I'm going to do now, hold down the shift key, I hold down the middle wheel that you zoom in and out at, and now I can orbit. Okay, so you hit the shift key down, and you hold the center roller on your mouse down at the same time. The roller that you usually use to zoom in and out, that's the shortcut. Hit the shift key, hit your roller, and push down at the same time, and you can orbit. So now I'm going to pick this face right here, and you'll notice the hole came all the way through. Okay, I'm going to hit OK, and now I just put a hole all the way through it. Now let's say I wanted to just hollow out part of this. I'm going to click this face again, right click, hit create sketch. And this one I'm just wanting to do a rectangle, let's say. And I don't know, we'll just do it right here. And this rectangle is not going to go all the way through. So I'm going to draw it, hit enter. I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to hit the Q, which is the press pull. I'm going to get a different orientation here. And let's say I only want this to go in, let's say 30 millimeters. So I'm going to hit the minus here. Hit minus 30 millimeters, hit enter. And now you'll notice I have that nice cavity inside there. Okay, a hole, I'm all the way through to the other side. To orbit, I'm holding shift down, pressing my wheel down, rotating around. Okay, and that's what it looks like. Now, another neat thing about one thing with 3D printing that's always kind of a pain in the ass. When you've got this big of a surface on the 3D printer, it's really hard to get off your print bed. It's really, really hard without damaging the print bed. I like to use that tape that goes down. I can't remember what it's called. It's used for insulating electricity. It's the yellow, I can't remember the name of the tape. Hang on a minute. I want to open this up and tell you what the tape is because I love this tape. Come on, load. We don't want to see Yahoo. Okay, this is where I always go, and I want to look at polymer tape. This tape right here is what I use to put on my heat bed. I can normally get 20 pulls before I put a new layer of this down. It's got a sticky side, but I love this stuff because it's Captain. That's what it's called, Captain tape. This stuff is the greatest. I don't know why I just grabbed that. It's the greatest stuff in the world, and it protects your bed. But let's go back to the drawing now. So let's say I need to build a notch in here so I can put something up underneath it just a little bit to pop it off. What I'm going to do is turn back on my origin, okay, which is the my drawing planes. I'm going to click this, right click, hit create an offset plane. I'm going to move this to about the middle. Okay, I'm going to hit OK. Now, if you got a hard time getting to this, go up here and turn the body off for a minute. Now you can click on it, right click, create sketch. I'm going to turn the body back on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here and draw a notch. So I'm going to hit the S key, and I'm just going to do something like this and hit enter. Okay, now what's nice about this is I can highlight this. I'm going to hit the Q, which opens the extrude, but what I'm going to do instead of hitting one side here, I'm going to hit symmetrical, which means now when I drag this, it's going to do it both directions, and it will be somewhat centered. Hit OK. Now, if I put this on my 3D printer, when I'm done, I can put a flathead or something under here and use it to pry it up off the bed. Okay, so this is absolutely imperative that if you're going to do big flat pieces that are hard to get off your print bed, because I've actually almost torn the surface off my print bed trying to get some of my prints off the 3D print bed. Okay, I'm trying to think. Now let's say you wanted to create a funky shape that was going to go through this. Okay, what you're going to do is go back, pick this again, right click, hit create an offset plane. I'm going to go to the side so I can line this plane up as close as I can. Now I could have drawn a construction line and made sure I hit it, but this is going to be close enough. Going to hit OK. Going to come over here. Most likely I'm going to turn off the body, right click, create sketch, turn the body back on, and now I can draw. Now another thing I could have done is just drawn on this face. I could have just right clicked on this face. Okay, I'm just showing you two different ways to do it. So let's go back for a minute and get rid of that plane. Okay, I could go to this and just right click, hit create sketch, but sometimes you might have multiple objects you're going through and you want to create that plane by itself. So here I'm going to create a shape, and I'm just going to do something a little bit funky if I can. Okay. Okay, and then I'm going to hit enter, and then I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to go back so I can kind of see it. I'm going to hit the Q, which opens the extrude, and I could push this through. If I had multiple objects, I could push it all the way out here and it would cut through all of them. Or I could pick this axis here, this plane here, by hitting to object. Okay, so, and I like to use this to object a lot. So I'm just going to click here. It's drawn all the way through. Now, one thing you'll notice, though, is it went through all my different layers perfectly. Okay. Now, one neat thing about this software that I like a lot, and I might not have done this right, but let's see. If I go back to my initial sketch, I can hit the D key now, and I can pick this, go up to 25, and now when I change this, you notice that it moved the drawing. Well, when it moved the drawing, if I hit stop sketch, it didn't move anything, it didn't screw anything else up in my drawing. It just moved this one wall, and you notice the hole moved with it. So this is one of the neatest things that I like about this software, is that when you're actually creating a lot of these dimensions, you can, draw them. Now, one thing you can do is when you hit this, if you type in 15 and hit enter, you already have that there. Okay? If I do it again and just do it 10, I have it there. If I come across and do this 20, okay, I've got it there. And I'm talking about the dimensions. If I come across here and go to 8, and then if I come up to here and here, hit enter. Now, one of the problems that can happen with this, and I want to move this out here, is that if I tell this to move, and this is here, this one won't move. So I'm going to hit 10. If I hit 15, you notice, because this has a number on it, it's locked in place, it's not going to move. You notice that this 20 is there, so it locked it in place and it didn't move. Now, if I remove this, put 15, okay, there still must be a constraint down here. So right click, delete that, hit 15, and it's still doing it. I wonder why it did that. Because normally without a line down here it doesn't do this. It may be that I've got the perpendicular on. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Whoops. Hang on a minute. Huh. I'm not sure. Oh, I bet that was it. Nope, that's not it. It is moving this, but it's moving it kind of an exponential, which is really weird. Hang on a minute. I'm just going to erase this for a minute. Put a line back in there. Hit enter. There it goes. So I still had something locking it in down there. And if I wanted to change the height here, okay, it moved that up, and it also did that weird exponential thing there. So I don't know what's going on there. I'm sure the fact you see these two things underneath there are telling me I've got something locked in there. And I'm sure if I would have erased this and just drawn a new line and not have a dimension there, it still did the, oh, it's got to be this other horizontal one, because I must have had a dimension on that at one time. Nope. So I have no idea what it's doing and why it's doing that. But this is one cool thing, that when you can draw all of that in there, you get to see it. And hang on a minute, I want to go in there and take that off. Edit sketch. I want to hit my select as I cross the window there. Grab that. Hit delete. Hit stop sketch. Okay. So hopefully, now if you wanted to bring off a shelf here, I guess I should show that too. You could hit create sketch. I'm going to do a rectangle. Hit enter. And just like when I hit the Q to extrude, instead of pushing this in, which is cutting it, I'm going to pull it out. Now notice over here on the right, it says cut, but if I bring it off of it, it says new body. Okay, so if I just bring this out to 17 and hit OK, I just created a new shelf there on that. Now keep in mind, this is all part of this one component over here called shape 1. Okay, if you're going to put a bolt in here, or you're going to do something that slides in here, you would create another component and call what it is so that it doesn't become part of just this one. Now, one thing I want to show you that I was playing around with, let's see if I'm good enough to do this right now. I'm going to turn off the bodies. Whoops. I'm going to turn off the body. I'm going to right click, hit offset plane, turn back on the body, and now I'm going to go to about the middle. Now, I don't know if this will work, but I'm going to see if it will. Now, sometimes when you create constructions, they will turn off. See, if I turn this off, that's my plane right there in the middle. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I am going to try to split this. So it says split a body. I'm going to hit split a body. It's going to ask me to click the splitting tool, which I'm going to click this construction plane right here and turn back on the bodies. Oh, hang on a minute. I got to be able to pick that plane while I see it, I think. Oh, select body split. Okay, see how it just drew that circle there? If I hit OK, I now have two completely different objects here. So if you click on bodies, okay, so I cut it right in half. This is really nice when you've gotten really far into a drawing and all of a sudden you realize, my God, I need to make it two parts. It's really nice. So let's do that one more time so you can all see it. Keep in mind you got to be able to get to that plane, and I'm not really sure how to make that surface bigger. I probably could have picked it from down here though. No, I don't think I could have. So let's try it one more time. So I'm going to right click, create a offset plane. I'm going to drag the plane down to here. Okay. I am going to hit split body, and now I need to click this. I want to split this body, and then I want to select how I'm going to split it, and I need to pick this plane right here. Okay, hit OK, and now I've got another body that I've split. Okay, you can actually hit move, grab that body now, and you've cut up what you were drawing. So I hope this is informative. Look, I know I'm a novice at this. I'm sure there's some people looking at this and they're cracking up like, wow, he went really ass backwards on some of this stuff. Look, I've been doing this about a month now, and it's worked out really good for my hobby, but I'm trying to help some of my fellow hobbyists, which have emailed me and said, hey Damon, how did you do that? So hopefully this answers it. If not, keep the emails coming and I'll try to explain more. And if I'm going too fast through these, email me and say, hey Damon, do it a lot slower. Show us every freaking step. And that's what I'm trying to do. In all my heart, I'm trying to show you every step. So thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great day, and I hope this helps.